Hello, boys and girls. So I ordered for us a brand new chapter book that I'm going to read to you, and it's called Magic on the Map. Let's Move. And this is the first one in the series. They're like numbered. So that's book number 1. And the authors are Courtney Sheenmel and Bianca Turetsky. And it's illustrated by Stevie Lewis. So it's a really cool book with 2 main characters that are on the cover, and they're in this like Winnebago type thing for going on on a camping trip. Kind of reminds me of Magic Treehouse a little bit because it does have the magic in it. I think that you'll really, really like the book. So I'm going to read the book to you, and then this is a whole series. So if you like it, then over the summer or whenever, you could order the books and then keep reading. Or if you want me to read another one, just let me know.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, boys and girls. So I'm going to read you the story Magic on the Map. And if you open up the book on the inside cover, it has a little map, which makes it kind of special and cool. And then it has the title page that looks like that. Has a little map of the world. And then the table of contents page is right here, and it shows that it has 11 chapters. So it's going to take us a little time to get through. But if you join me each day, I'll read you a couple chapters, and I'm sure we'll be done before we know it. And then the next page has a really cool map of the United States. It really lets you know where each state is. And you can see Maine up here in the corner. And when we find out where our characters are, we'll look back at that map. And Colin also is letting us use his map of the world so that it kind of looks like the map of the world that was on the title page in the book. Okay, so we're going to start reading. I'm going to flip this around so you can see the picture while I'm reading the first page. On the last day of 2nd grade, Finn and Molly Parker came home to find a camper.
You.
Yeah, they're in our grade, and they're near the end, just like you guys, to find a camper in the driveway. It was white with 1 orange stripe and 1 yellow stripe. It had a rounded roof and 3 windows on the sides. The twins checked to make sure that the school bus had let them off at the right house. Yep, this was 24 Birchwood Drive, with its hunter green mailbox out front. It's purple Johnny Jump Up flowers in the window boxes. But you couldn't see the window boxes now.
It went low battery. 20%.
Okay, what happens if you hit cancel?
I did already.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Johnny Jump Up flowers in the window boxes, but you couldn't see the window boxes now. They were blocked by the camper, which was as big as a boat. Molly turned to Finn. "What's this doing here?" she asked. "How do I know?" said Finn. "I just got here, same as you." Molly and Finn walked up the driveway slowly and carefully, as if the camper was a UFO, which means an unidentified foreign object, like a spacecraft, like an alien spacecraft. Finn was wearing his favorite baseball cap. It was from his little league team, the Moonwalkers, and he never took it off.
That's a weird name.
Well, not never. He took it off at school because hats weren't allowed during class, and he took it off each night when he had to shower before bed. But every other minute of the day, he wore it, even when he was sleeping. Except for right now. He took it off and he shielded his eyes with his hand peeking through the camper window, kind of like this. Can you see me? Like this. He's trying to peek in the windows and see what might be in there. But every other, peeking through the camper's tinted windows. Their dad jumped out of the driver's side door. "Ah!" yelled the twins in surprise.
What page?
I don't have any pictures on this page, so you can just watch me read, I guess.
Okay.
"Dad, you scared us," Finn said. "What are you doing home?" "And what's this?" added Molly. "It's a camper, isn't it beautiful?" Mr. Parker said. He patted the side of the camper as if it was a new puppy. "Now we can take the trip that we've been dreaming to take." "What trip?" Finn said. "A family road trip," their dad exclaimed. "We can go anywhere our hearts desire." "That's not true. We can't go to Bora Bora," Molly said. "I don't mind holding it, Jacob."
Okay.
"Huh?" said Finn. "Bora Bora is on an island in Tahiti," Molly said. "It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which means we can't drive there. Anyway, we need to travel in anywhere we can travel in the camper has to be on the same continent that we are." So if we look at the map, what she's saying is we can't go, here we are in the United States, we can only go to the land that's hooked to us. We can't go over to other continents.
Like Russia.
Yeah, like over that way. All right. That's right, Molly, said their dad. Can't get anything past you. But there's lots of other places that these wheels can take us this summer. We can go anywhere in North America. Doesn't that sound great? I get car sick, Molly said. Remember the time that we drove to Grandma's house and I threw up all over Finn? I remember, said Finn. It was so disgusting. I didn't do it on purpose, Molly replied. But you did it on me, Finn said. Do you get camper sick too? Probably, Molly said. Gross, said Finn, placing his baseball cap back on his head. Kids, where's that family spirit? Their dad said. Just then, Mrs. Parker stepped out of the front door. Her cell phone was pressed to her ear. Her eyes widened with the sight of the camper in the driveway. Carol, I'm going to need to call you back, she said. She lowered her phone and shook her head. What in the world? She said. Family vacation, honey, Mr. Parker said. Mrs. Parker's eyes scanned the driveway. Where's your car? She said. I traded it with Professor Vega, the guy from the astrophysics department, Mr. Parker exclaimed. It's a steal of a deal. The car only sat 5 people and this camper sleeps 8. Oh no, Mrs. Parker said. You have to trade it back. This takes up the entire front yard and it's crushing my marigolds, like her flowers. Phew, Molly and Finn sighed with relief. The camper would be returned tomorrow and Dad would have his regular car back. Everything would be normal again. But that night, Molly couldn't fall asleep. She tossed and she turned until the faint morning light was peeking through her window shade. Molly put on her fuzzy bunny slippers and she carefully tiptoed down the stairs. She wanted to look at the camper one last time and maybe even go inside it before Dad traded it back. She couldn't get car sick or camper sick if it was standing still. She quietly slipped outside and opened the unlocked camper door. To her surprise, someone was already in there. So chapter 2 is called Magic Camper. Finn was in the back of the camper and he was dressed in his gray and blue pajamas, matching slippers, and of course his baseball cap. What are you doing here? Molly asked Finn, and Finn asked Molly at the same time. Molly was going to say Jinx, but then Finn wouldn't be allowed to talk, and she did want him to answer. I've never been in a camper before, Finn said. I just wanted to see what it was like. Yeah, said Molly, me too. The twins didn't look much alike. Molly's hair was long and it was reddish brown and wavy. Her eyes were the color of chocolate, like milk duds, just like their dad's. And Finn had hair the color of dark chocolate. It was chopped short, so you couldn't tell if it was straight or curly. His eyes were as blue as the ocean, just like their mom's. But even though Finn and Molly looked different, and even though they liked different things, sometimes they were thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time. That was the case right now. Do you know what I'm thinking? Finn asked his sister. She nodded. You're thinking that we should explore this thing. They walked the length of the main room of the camper. It was a kitchen, a dining room, and a bedroom all rolled into one. The furniture was squished together and bolted to the wall. I bet that they did that so that when it's moving, the furniture doesn't slide around, Molly said. I knew that, Finn said. He pulled the lever on the couch to turn it into a bed. The counter turned into a table, and the cabinet turned into a TV. Everything has to be 2 in 1 because there's not enough room in here, Molly said. The camper is bigger than a car, but it's smaller than a house. I knew that too, Finn replied. In the back of the camper, there was a bathroom the size of a closet. Outside of the bathroom was a sink, and above the sink, there was a map of the world. And Colin's going to show you that. A map of the world, like the one beside me. Can you show the kids? Just like the one that Ms. Gritty had in her 2nd grade classroom. Molly undid the safety lock on the cabinet that was underneath the map, and she found a container of multicolored push pins. She took a red push pin out and she pushed it right into the map, right where their town, Harvey Falls, Ohio, should be. And Colin's going to zoom in for you. And so Ohio's right here on the map of the United States. We're up here where he colored in red. So we're in Ohio. And she put a push pin on it. She and Finn lived their whole lives in Ohio. You shouldn't do that, Finn said. It's not our property. At least it won't be as soon as Dad trades it back for the car. I want the next people who have it to know that we were here, Molly said. She stared at her home of Ohio on the map. Her house in her town and her state always seemed really big, but on this map of the world, her state was the size of a little wad of gum. Her town was the size of a pinprick, and her house was too small to even see on the map at all. Molly sighed. What's wrong? Her brother asked. It just looks lonely, she said. The pushpin? He asked. Yes, said Molly with a sigh again. You're being ridiculous, Finn said. Pushpins aren't alive and they don't get lonely. Molly looked at her brother, knew her brother was right, and besides, it was probably time that they go back to bed anyway. But Finn moved up to the front of the camper where there were two big leather seats. One was a passenger seat and one was a driver's seat. Finn had never sat in the driver's seat before, but now was his chance to try. He sat down and he put his hands on the steering wheel, and his legs were too short to even reach the pedals. Where to? He asked his sister. If we go east, we could go to... What state is to the east again? I can't remember. Molly sat down in the passenger seat and rolled her eyes. Pennsylvania, she said. Didn't you pay attention to anything? Ms. Gritty said. Do you want to zoom in on the map right now, Colin? Then they can look for Ohio and see what's around it as I read the next part. So you got Ohio here, and then Pennsylvania is right next to it. Let's see. Finn shrugged. It was hard to pay attention in class sometimes, especially during baseball season. Or we could go west, he said, to whatever state that is. He twisted the wheel to the right and the left. Or we could go to France. France is another country, Molly told her brother. On a different continent? Fine, we could go to Canada, though. That's on our continent, right? Up north, Molly said. Or we could go, way down all the way to Mexico, Finn said. Vroom, vroom. You shouldn't be playing around like that, said Molly to her brother. Mom and Dad always say cars aren't toys, and campers aren't toys either. Relax, said Finn.
Stop it.
Okay, Colin, you can slide back over.
I'm just showing them where France is.
Okay. Relax, Finn said. We don't have any keys, and we can't go anywhere. Really go anywhere. He twisted the wheel some more. Molly fingered the purple and bluish friendship bracelet that was around her neck, or around her wrist. So she's kind of going like this. Like she has a little bracelet on there. She's kind of going like that. That was what she did when she was nervous. She made the bracelet herself, and she wanted to give it to a friend. She just hadn't decided who she would give it to yet. Finn pressed the button that was next to the steering wheel to turn the radio on, but of course nothing happened. I wish we did have the keys, he said. It's really fun to pretend to drive when you have music to sing along to. He began to sing his favorite song out loud. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. Molly examined a little TV screen in the middle of the dashboard. There was a red button labeled power and volume, plus an up and down arrow in blue. It's weird that there's a TV up here, Molly said. Drivers shouldn't watch TV, it's unsafe. She pressed the power button, even though she knew it wouldn't work without the keys.
Number one, Dad.
To turn on the camper.
Number one, Dad. It has a...
Oh, yeah, a little mug. Can you see that? But the strangest thing happened. The TV screen lit up, first with a flash of white and then blue, and then finally the word welcome popped up on the screen, and each letter was bright red. A deep voice came onto the speaker. Hello, it said. Who are you? And that's the end of chapter 2. So if you guys want to find out why the camper is talking to the kids, tune in tomorrow and we'll see what happens.